Okay, we've got another part here to do. We're now to the cut schedule. We know the size of some pieces of wood, and we have to determine how this is going to come out of 4x8 pieces of plywood. So go to the top view. If you don't have already, you're going to need a couple plywood layers. So you just go in here. It's very simple. You know how to add layers. That took a while. We'll add 2 layers. We'll name one plywood, and we'll go ahead and make it a color. Continuous. 0.7 is a little heavy. Make it super skinny default. Make a new layer and call it plywood cut. So these are the pieces that will come out of that. Pick an opposing color, something that will stand out a little different from that one. Plywood. You can double click these lines so you can get the whole word. There's plywood. Make sure that these are on default. We want them nice and skinny. Alright, so, and make sure in here everything's going to print except for the viewport layer. Just making sure of a couple things. We'll go to 2D. Make sure we're in the top. Pick rectangle. 0, 0, enter, and go over 48, 96. Now, that is another way of entering information into AutoCAD. You can type its coordinates. There's a sheet of plywood, so we'll put it on the plywood layer. And of course, we should actually be working on the plywood layer. So we'll take and move it off the coordinate of 0, 0, and we'll make the first sheet, the first cut out of that. Plywood cut. And we have a piece that we need is going to be 18 by 23 1/4. So you come down here and you just type in that distance. Rectangle, 0, 0. And we'll go over 18 inches, 18. And the second number was 23, I believe, 1/4. Let me type this in, comma, 23.25. So there is the verse sheet. That didn't work. 0, 0, enter, 18, 23.25. It didn't look like it was right, but I believe it is. Grab a hold of it, put it on a sheet of plywood, and there's definitely something happening that's wrong. Let's try this one more time. This is 48 inches wide, so 18 should be 1/3 of the way. Try this again. We go 0, 0, enter. I'm not sure whether I can enter a decimal. I think that's the problem. 23, the little minus sign, and then 1/4 written that way. That was the problem. You'd have to be in decimals for it to register 0.25. So there is 18 supposedly. Dimension linear. Let me check something out here. That's 42. The plywood isn't the right size. Let me make sure this is not sure. Yeah, I shouldn't have been entering in decimals from the very beginning. So let's try this just one more time. We go on the plywood. We go 0, 0, but these were whole numbers. I don't know why it did what it did. We go over 48, which is the X distance, and then 96, which is the Y. That's more like it. I'll put that down. And there is one piece of wood that can be cut out of this. These are all 18 inches, so you can just put them right in a line with each other. So you want to use your plywood as efficiently as possible. When you need another piece of plywood, use the copy command, turn on ortho, and sure, I would suppose most of your projects are coming out of 2 or maybe even 3 pieces of plywood. You can come up here and grab the letter that needs to go on the plywood. I believe that was this one. Copy. Come down here, turn off ortho, and put it where you want, usually right in the middle, and that's part A. You could even scale that up ×2. Makes it a little better and easier on your eyes in the end. Here is scale. So we could scale this up maybe 3 times that size. That looks a little better. Okay, so that's the cut schedule. And next will be, we have 3 more components left. We have to bring in the design brief. That's pretty easy. You would go File, go to Microsoft Word, and you're looking for your design brief. There it is. It's pretty substantial. It's large. All right. Control C. Come back to AutoCAD. Text frame. Open it up. Control V. And now you have some formatting to do. Control A. Make it all Stylus BT. And make it all 1 inch tall. That's the first thing you need to do. And it looks like some of it's clear over here. It might be the fact that some of it is centered and others isn't. So Control A will make everything left justified. And there you go. So there's your design brief. We brought it in. And the next thing we want to do is import a title block. So go to your Layout tab. You might have 1 or 2 already down there. Right mouse click, rename it. Plotter. Go up to File, Page Setup Manager, Modify, and choose your driver. The 800 is what you want to choose, and you're looking for ANSI D right there, ANSI D. That's 24 by 36 inch paper. Say OK to that. And we're ready to import a title block. File, Open. In the CAD handout folder, actually you need to choose the file type first. You choose DWT, which is a template file. Then you slide up here and you go to CAD handouts. Drafting 1. And there's a document called All Title Blocks. You go to the Plotter tab, grab everything, Control C, go up to Window, pick your file, Control V, Victory. And you can paste this down. Probably be best if you go ahead and put snap at a 16th from the beginning in paper space, and don't put it down on top of the dashed line. Now you're going to look to see it's all inside the dash, and all you have to do is edit what you need here. Now we need a bunch of 5 or 6 viewports, and we'll almost be ready to do some final formatting for the look.